Good morning. My name is Jim DeMeo, and this is A Course in Miracles. Today we continue in the lessons with 67. Love created me like itself. Today's idea is a complete and accurate statement of what you are. This is why you are the light of the world. This is why God appointed you as the world's Savior. This is why the Son of God looks to you for his salvation. He is saved by what you are. We will make every effort today to reach this truth about you and to realize fully, if only for a moment, that it is true. I'd just like to make a comment for those of you that are Christian and you're concerned maybe about Jesus. If you look at the Jesus story carefully, you'll see that he clearly, from the very beginning, looked for someone to complete the work he knew that he would start. And I use the word start because his work was to establish himself and us as the Son of God. He knew in order for us to reach that status as well, we would have to agree with him. And so, when he finished his time here, he encouraged the apostles to complete the work. It's clear that if any one of us were to completely, like our brother, accept that love created us like itself, if we were to completely accept today's lesson, then the work of salvation would be over. Peace and joy would be permanent. And eventually, as we let go of our attachment to things, all would disappear and form. And when we would return to that formless being that actually exists, not only by way of Jesus, but all who have passed to the other side, returning back to the Father, to the Creator, who is formless. Most people don't think about it, but the Creator is formless. Science is beginning to understand that thought is what controls energy. Back to our lesson. In the longer practice period, we think about your reality and its wholly unchanged and unchangeable nature. We will begin by repeating this truth about you and then spend a few moments adding some relevant thoughts such as, holiness created me holy. Kindness created me kind. Helpfulness created me helpful. Perfection created me perfect. Any attribute which is in accord with God as he defines himself is appropriate for use. We're trying today to undo the definition of God and replace it with his own. We're also trying to emphasize that you are part of his definition of himself, not separated. Only that we think we are separated. That's actually the fall of man, thinking we're separated. After you've gone over several such related thoughts, try to let all thoughts drop away for a brief preparatory interval and then try to reach past all your images and preconceptions about yourself to the truth in you. Love created me like itself. If love created you like itself, this self must be in you. And somewhere in your mind it is there for you to find. Allow it. You may find it necessary to repeat the idea for today from time to time to replace distracting thoughts. Love created me like itself. You may also find that this is not sufficient and that you need to continue adding other thoughts related to the truth about yourself. Perfection created me perfect. Yet perhaps you will succeed in going past that and through the interval of thoughtlessness. Thoughtlessness here refers to no longer reacting and bouncing around, no longer engaging in the neurochemistry that is our brain function. Reaching the awareness of a blazing light in which you recognize yourself as love created you. Be confident that you do much today to bring that awareness nearer. Whether you have succeeded or not, doesn't matter how you feel about it. It still is true. You will accomplish. It will be particularly helpful today to practice the idea for today as often as you can. And you need to hear the truth about yourself as frequently as possible. Just hold it through your mind through the day. Love created me like itself. Because your mind is so preoccupied with false images. 4 or 5 times an hour, and perhaps even more. It would be most beneficial to remind yourself that love created you like itself. Hear the truth about yourself in this. There's nothing you can't do. You're not stopping your life. Just don't stop this idea as you have your day. Try to realize in the shorter practice periods that this is not your tiny, solitary voice that tells you this. Indeed, it's not. This is the voice for God, your rational mind, reminding you of your Father and of yourself. This is the voice of truth, replacing everything that the ego, the small little self, tells you about yourself with the simple truth about the Son of God. You were created by love, like itself.